goodness. Hello, my friends. Hello, my friends. Really, I just want to start this time that we're spending together thanking you so very much for your willingness to participate in this panel.
I've been a part of Women's Council, I think now for maybe about 25 years.
So I began, I think this is my 7th consecutive year as a Women's Council member.
When I decided to come back, I wanted to come back with purpose. The managing broker at that time advised that I should join Women's Council. I knew nothing about Women's Council, and I did. I went to an event. And when Nakia talks about diversity, one of the things I saw was I saw the women that looked like me.
27 years ago, I became a realtor. And 27 years ago, I became a Women's Council member.
When I first started, and it's been 31 years ago, so I'm with Women's Council. I've been a member for 31 years. And so I've seen it evolve and not just revolve.
I've had my license since 1997, but really practicing residential probably since 0405. And I think that was my first Women's Council meeting. And it was, I just found it because I was just looking for something different. It was a great speaker. It was talking about financial planning. It was outstanding. And then I went with my business partner at the time, and I remember it was up north. I remember this as clear as day. We had nothing in common except we were women. Age, nothing.
So I joined for getting to know people to help business, and Women's Council gave me a lot of confidence.
Okay, so I've been a member of Women's Council since 2013. I got my real estate license back in 2001, and I can remember being invited to a Women's Council event somewhere on the north side of Chicago, Sarah.
So when it came to the Women's Council, I didn't see that the resources were being equally distributed, and I needed to align myself with organizations that I felt could give more, especially to the south side of Chicago in the most segregated city. I don't think that we should ever compete for leadership roles. There's too many different organizations that need us, and we need to spread ourselves. They're the hardest working group at the national or in conjunction with the National Association of Realtors. And women, not only us as women here today, are we experiencing racism, we also experience sexism. I always thought it's because I was black. I ain't realized it was really because I'm a woman, right?
And how can we assist others in making our world more inclusive and being better listeners and all that kind of stuff?
When you look at what Women's Council has given, I think when I went in as local chapter at the time, was president, there was misconception. You can see the preconception of how I was first because I was black, how it may be, and how people started gathering around me just in case I could not do the job. They automatically assumed I could not do the job. I had either less intelligence or less ability to lead. Even though I had been 11 years in management, they decided I could not. So I was always in the proofing stage. And so once I started, and I've always been in education. Someone mentioned education. I got as much education. I got as much designations. I did as much job in committee work with Women's Council as with my local. And when it came to a time when they wanted someone to be state president, they asked me to run for state. That's right.
I am introduced in my state as the first Black president. They don't leave that off. Okay, why can't it just stop with this is the president of Women's Council? It's always that tag.
And this is the cream of the crop you got here. This is the most educated, giving group of women, no matter what color, right, that are members of the National Association of Realtors. What I will say is this: I'm the only one who was willing to cry. We're all crying, okay? Right. And it just got to the point that everybody, well, I'm not emotional. I think that my husband has never seen me cry like that. Okay. And I've been with him for 15 years, just so you can be clear.
And Women's Council helped me to get there. It has given me that same platform that Marky has mentioned because it gave me visibility. You know, when I think about the fact that there are so many ways you can go in our industry, there's so many of us, but once you become a member of this family, It's a little bit different. And I won't say everyone has the same experience. Every woman of color has the same experience, because they don't. Right. Even in my local network, I've had an occasion where that didn't happen. But I say, on the whole, I've always said this, that I have seen more welcoming and diversity in Women's Council than any other aspect of NAR, of any of our industry. So, you know, I think that all of the things that we're talking about here, and I internalize them, I believe them. I've talked about when people want to touch my hair, and yes, it's different, you know. Don't touch my hair, just like you don't want anybody touching your belly when you're pregnant. I'm just saying, you know, those are things, you know, when I talk about my grandbabies and how I have to worry every time they walk out the door. And I'm not just saying about my grandsons or my son, I'm talking about my granddaughters too. When I have to give them the talk about what to do if you're ever or whenever you're stopped,